camera, and this is the one that heads right back down and comes out by Holly Heights. This is the line that runs that direction. It runs east. This is a new form he sent out. As you see, the final price at $1,500. Well, I didn't check those boxes off to the left. I didn't know I had to. So the total price for these 4-point repairs was $12,700. So if I had checked those boxes, then I would have known it would have totaled itself.
That number seems low.
It is low, because especially if you look at 2,800 per point repair. So Underground Tech finished that yesterday, and so we are officially done on our repairs on Pearl Street. I do not have a cost yet on Emery's construction for down there. So the road is put back, the road is done, it's with gravel, and the county's gonna come back in spring when the asphalt plant's open back up, and they're gonna take care of the asphalt. And so we were able to now get the other home hooked to that sewer line. Well,
Are they gonna put down some more gravel? Because when I was by there around, I didn't drive the lowest part, but I looked at it, it was still dirt. I mean, there wasn't gravel on top.
dirt.
Yeah, it was dirt.
We didn't use any dirt.
Well, I mean, sand or whatever.
Whatever you would
clay.
gravel over.
It was not gravel.
Okay, well,
It's compacted.
it's
It's
compacted.
compacted? Okay.
Yeah, so there is
Okay.
dirt in gravel.
Because there were a couple ruts that somebody had driven it afterwards already.
Yeah, some people have been driving through there, we saw that earlier today, but
Yeah.
Emery was
Okay.
having a problem trying to get the compaction and get the gravel in place and still keep the cars off of it. Even though the road officially said it was closed, people still drove on it. So, the county will go up and inspect it, make sure that we're okay. They may require us then to come back and put some more gravel and compact it on the trench.
Can you explain for the board real quick, like when I asked you the question that the roots that you see here don't look that bad? You told me about how bad the conditions were before it was cleaned out.
So the pictures you see are the roots growing back after 2 years. I think it was almost 2 years ago. You guys were up there. You couldn't see this pipe. It would, just imagine it looking like a horsetail coming out down this pipeline. So you couldn't even see up the pipe. And this is what's growing back after the cutter went in and cut it out the first time.
And don't we eventually then line them with some kind of plastic or something?
Well, it's like a fiberglass type sock liner
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
resin.
that's what
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah, but we haven't been able to get back in there right after that. Remember, COVID became real prevalent, and so everything shut down. And usually, as soon as we cut those out, we get them on a schedule to come in and have companies do the point repairs.
Will we have to cut them again?
They're already done. The point repair company will cut out what they can, and then they'll go in and they'll put the point repairs in, which will seal up each one of these joints, and that stops the growth of the roots coming back through. Point repairs what do they quote, is 4 feet? So they center the point repair over wherever the root intrusion's at, or the hole. So it's not like it's off to one side where roots can get this direction or the other. So it's completely covered with 2 feet on either side of it. If we needed any more than 4, then we would have stopped. I would have come to the board. We're gonna have to do a full liner, which they'll come in, put an entire line in the entire sewer line, and then they'll go back and reinstate all the laterals. This was still a pretty good line, so it didn't require that next step. Was that all on that?
Did you have any, Dan, did you have any, residential complaints during the process?
We actually had very few, and what we did was just minor. Most people were pretty agreeable. They would, if we gave them notice, they would move their cars out and down the road away so they could access them. Emery's really good at putting in crossing plates and giving access to the residents in and out. And if you have to block their driveway, then, you know, we let them park up the roadways out of the way. So, we had some complaints from joggers because they couldn't jog straight through. But when you have
Oh, really?
when you have a 7-foot deep ditch, you don't want them jogging through. So,
When
and
you
you,
named Karen,
yeah, so it was just, there was only a couple of those, Jim. You know,
Okay.
we have to keep them out of the way of the swinging excavator and stuff like that, so. But I would say that no, we really didn't have any complaints.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. So on number 2, item 2, Oceanside Pump Station Control Module display was installed today, it's up and operational. It has taken a while because even when it came new from factory, I guess it came with corrupted, yeah, so anyway, it's all repaired, it's up and running, SCADA's working, comms are all working, so it's good. The other pump stations are operating without any major issues. The Wedeco disinfection system, we're still waiting for some more parts that they still need to send us, but what we've had to do is we've shut down the plant generator from exercising. It's not shut down in case there's a power outage. There's a difference, but we can control whether it exercises or not. So right now, we have that off until we get the other parts in, because what happens is, if you have a bank on, the generator starts, transfers power, it causes an issue with the PLC or with the lamps. So it starts knocking lamps out, and they won't come back on, and then it starts having PLC issues. So, because there's ballast cards and different equipment that run electronically, the only thing that's battery backup protected is the actual PLC, but not your high voltage end of it. So what your lamps run off of, what your equipment runs off of. So until we get the rest of the parts in and finish the maintenance on the UV, we're gonna not exercise the generator. We can go out there and fire it up and start it, we just don't want it to transfer power. Cause that shut down and then start back up electrical is what causes the problem. So, West Tech, on number 4, the contracts just came in. I didn't expect them this week, so that's why they're not on, we're not on your agenda. Matter of fact, they showed up about an hour before the board meeting. So, they are here to be executed. The board just needs to, I don't really think you need to approve anything, you already approved the project. So you just gotta designate somebody to sign the contract. We'll sign 4, we'll keep 1 original, and 3 goes back to the engineer.
I move John signs them.
Thanks. Does there have to be a secondary attest by the secretary?
I just think the board has to just pick
All
one
right,
of you to
that's
sign
fine.
it. So generally, board chair or
Don't
treasurer.
read it.
Okay.
So I think that's on the agenda after I'm done anyway. So as you witnessed tonight, the laptops are not performing well when it comes to our public meetings. They're just at an age that it's gonna cost more to repair them and patch them than it is to replace them. So I'm still waiting for the 5 laptop quotes. Generally, you're looking at $1,500 a laptop is generally what they've been. They might be a little higher than that now, but I'm expecting that they'll stay under 1,800.
So how long have they been in service?
5 years.
5 years, which I guess is,
It's pretty good.
And these aren't
no
just
matter how
off.
much you pay up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These don't have programming in them like you'd go buy one off of the, from
Right.
Costco or something. These all have specialty programs put into them, so.
And that cost includes the apps? Includes.
Yes, that includes the apps, the Office 365, and as we all know that, Cause each one of your, district laptops, your board member laptops all have, Office 365. Those are now just a monthly or annual fee. You can't buy software anymore, hardly. Everything's that way, so. But ours are different. There's different security protocols in them to get into SCADA and telemetry. They can actually operate 2 of our pump stations just from their laptops or even their cell phones, so.
No, that's not bad at all, if it includes the software.
Yeah, yeah, that's everything, plus that's set up, and then put all the firewalls back in, passwords. But I should have a price, next week on it,
How long have these been,
almost the same time.
like, these are the slowest laptops I
So-
have ever done.
So, the IT from our, Charlie from, Center Logic, he's expecting the board members will start having issues with their laptops.
I opened Word at home and it still has it open.
Yeah, we're having this, well, as you witnessed, we're having issues with these here at work. We're having issues with our computers at our desks are really slow. Sometimes I have to reboot mine twice just to get on. We usually leave them on all week and just shut them off on the weekends. They're all starting to show their age. He's even talking about another server, you know, it's getting to the same age. The problem is they'll come about the same time as we bought them all about the same time. So, my laptop, the original one was the first one to fail. This is a refurbished warranty laptop. So, they're just at that age and they're all out of warranty now. They're all expired.
Are Macs an option, or does it have to be Microsoft?
I don't know if Macs are an option.
'Cause I've had mine for 10 years,
Mhm.
except for breaking the screen, so I just hook it up to the TV, but it works.
Mhm. So, the requirements on these are a little different.
Yeah.
And the IT, we've had actually less problems with the Dell products than we had with any others, HPs or any others that we have used.
I would, you have to distinguish between the board laptops and their laptops.
Well, I guess either.
Yeah, because they've got stuff that may not even be written
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's why I asked.
The board laptops are more something that you would use at home,
Yeah.
but these are not,
Yeah, no. I was-
yeah.
I was actually gonna take mine in and say, go to Boston and can you rev the RAM on this or something, so that sounds good.
Well,
I was just gonna pay for it.
So now I can report back to IT, yes, I've already told them about yours, now I can tell them about yours being
Just,
slow.
mine's just speed, I
Yeah.
cannot say it's malfunctioning.
Well,
It's just not functioning.
After so long, so many years, they build up, well, talking technical, but they build up bytes of storage in them and it starts to slow them down. And at some point, he says that, I don't know if they're upgradable, to be honest with you, to put, you know, faster RAM in there, you know, or things like that. But he's talking about they're at the end of their useful life. So.
Okay.
So, office equipment purchases and updates under 6, the preferred worker program. If you look, I attached the authorization for some upgrades to the, what is it?
See it somewhere in
Oh, here it is. So what you'll see is this right here. And on the back, I've signed it, Lincoln has signed it, and this is what's going to, is in for approval. So you'll see a lift gate for the district truck, and if you look at the far right column, it says property of, program use only, but property of. This is everything that the district will own when this is done, and then the other columns for worker, those will, if Lincoln decides to move on to somewhere else, then he's allowed to take those other 3 items. So, as you can see, we're getting $31,078. We're gonna power up the garage doors out of the front shop, the front 3. And then these other ones are to, we're also gonna put a power winch, not winch, crane in the camera, so he doesn't have to try to pull up that heavy camera, or actually it'll help all of them. So these are all worthwhile upgrades. And then,
Yeah, so for the record, that money that's coming from the state for this is not tax revenue.
mhm,
That is money that comes out of all workers' paychecks. If you look at your paycheck, it says workers' comp, and it's cents per day. So
right,
it's not very much, but times all the workers in the state and matched by all the employers, it goes into a fund. And the stuff that's coming out to help injured workers get back to work, this 31,000,
Mhm.
it's not tax money, it's money that workers and employers paid in for workers to be able to get employers
Right.
have good incentive to hire injured workers and to help the injured workers get the equipment they need, especially if they're injured, to modify their work job lifts and things like that. So it's like, since this is a public body, it's like, this is not a tax thing.
right.
This is workers and employers creating their own fund out of their own pockets to give this kind of money for this kind of thing, which I think is way different than tax money.
Yeah,
So, the only one that I kind of wondered about was E, F, and G.
okay.
Does that somehow
So the lab micros, the E, F, and
relate
G,
to making the job easier for
so
Lincoln or other?
Lincoln has a lower back injury. And right now, when you use the microscope, you have to stay hunched over on it when you're doing your analysis and your inspection.
Okay,
This will allow him to stand up straight. The microscope will be fitted with a camera that will look down and display it onto the wall, onto this LED screen. So
Okay.
he can still operate, fully operate the microscope, but only, he won't have to stay bent over to look at it,
okay,
so.
all right, I was just kind of wondering.
Yeah,
It seemed
so
like
that'll all mount,
kind of outside the realm of what I would normally expect to make the job easier to do, but you explained it.
yeah. So, and that's what it's for, and it's qualified for that. What's not on here, and Lincoln and I just finished the paperwork on that, we also get reimbursement for his training. So we just sent Tyler and Lincoln to a training down in Roseburg,
Okay.
and so we're getting reimbursed for that as well.
And 50% wage.
50% wage reimbursement for the first 6 months, and then workers' comp premiums are paid
For 3 years.
for 3 years, yeah.
And if he has another injury, it doesn't go against our claims history.
Right.
No.
Yeah. So that's all really good news. And yes, Lincoln's working out well, so, it's a good investment. So other than that, I have the district summary. There have been some changes that brings up some of the stuff that we've already have accomplished and working on. So there's just a few updates in there.
So that's, district report is complete then.
Yes.
So under old business, we have signing of the Oceanside Pump Station contract, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
So I guess,
I will sign them. Secretary, I guess I should do something as secretary.
if, whatever, I don't know how it reads. But, okay, so, a motion for myself as board president to sign the contract. Somebody make a motion besides me.
I move.
Second,
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, that's done. All right, new business, the second reading of the ordinance and adoption. Can I have a motion to accept the ordinance number 2202?
I move to accept the ordinance.
Second,
Second,
I'll second it.
any further discussion? We've kind of beat up on that pretty well. So, all in favor of approving and adopting ordinance 2202, say aye.
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 Aye. It's approved unanimously. And then the next item is correspondence. Or is the calendar for 2023. We're almost there. Any questions or discussion on that? Looks pretty much the same as prior years. Okay, if there is none, no executive session, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.